What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? And today we are talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, baby. I've been waiting for a good Call of Duty to come out. Black Ops 4 was pretty decent. I actually enjoyed the game. I kind of got sick of it after, like a couple months. With most Call of Duty games, that's how I get, except for the OG, my favorite one, which was Black Ops. I played that game forever. Absolutely loved that game. And then I got away from it when it got into Advanced Warfare. Absolutely despised that game. I just don't like the futuristic feel that they try to push onto the game. I just didn't have the right feel to it. Didn't seem like what Call of Duty should be, you know what I mean? And a lot of the people in the community felt the same way. And luckily it only took them years and years to finally listen to that, which is another thing that makes me worried about the Call of Duty franchise. Every time I see a new COD come out, I'm like, is this going to be another shit game? Am I going to waste my hard-earned money, my 60 or whatever I decide to spend if I get an Ultimate Edition or whatever, on this game? You know what I mean? But I have a feeling that since then they've started to go in the right direction with it. One of the core complaints that a lot of people had, especially when the beta first released, was that there was no mini-map. Since then, they have actually listened to the community, which is great to hear from Call of Duty, that they are listening to the community during the beta and actually fixing things that they don't like, which is kind of weird. Why would you take the mini-map out? What kind of stance would you have for that? I mean, I get that you wanted to make the game more realistic, but Call of Duties have always had a mini-map if you played core, and it's like, just don't take that out. Don't take out something that's important. You know what I mean? One of the cool features they have, which you just saw, is that you can run through doors and open doors. Also with the door feature, you can kind of push the gun in a little bit and like look around and throw flashbang in and back out, and then kind of clear the room a little bit if you want to do that. So doors kind of add a new obstacle to the game, if you will. They're obviously really loud if you run through. If you kind of sneak through, you can still hear it, but it's not as loud. Definitely would be substantial in a game such as the new game mode that they have, which is Cyber Attack. And now Cyber Attack is like Search and Destroy, except for you can revive people. Search and Destroy is my favorite, and it probably comes from the fact that I absolutely love Rainbow Six. If you guys keep seeing me look down, I'm looking at my paper that I have all these notes written on, because there's just so much stuff that I want to tell you guys. But anyway, going back to Cyber Attack, it has a great feeling to it, you know what I mean? I like that difference where you can actually revive each other. Like I said, I love Search and Destroy. Brings me back to my Rainbow days, baby. Absolutely love Rainbow, one of my favorite games, but that's beside the point. So if you liked Search, you will more than likely enjoy Cyber Attack. Also, another change that they made is Gunsmith. Now, Gunsmith is where you take your gun and you customize it to your heart's content. Honestly, this Gunsmith feels more like a Rainbow Gunsmith. Sorry about that. My computer freaked out for some reason. Anyway, so what was I saying about the Gunsmith? Oh yeah, so this Gunsmith feels more like a Rainbow Gunsmith, except for it's got a lot more detail to it. Similar to Rainbow style, any kind of attachment that you add to it will maybe increase, firing range or hip fire accuracy or weapon stability, things along that line. So you can do a lot of stuff to like the AKs and the MP5s and all the main core guns. Not so much with the rocket launcher and things like that, but honestly, what all could you do with the rocket launcher? Also, they've bumped up the audio and the visuals, which is kind of normal for a new game. Normally, they always bump up something to do with that. But they said that they actually spent a lot of time working on the audio, which is nice because audio is extremely, especially in a competitive standpoint, is extremely crucial in any video game. So when developers stray away from worrying about the audio, it's insane to me. Like certain games like PUBG, for instance. That game could have been huge. It could have been great if they would have worked on certain things like audio and stuff like that. Another thing, man, these kill streaks like this one right here brought back the fucking kill streaks, baby. Love kill streaks. I absolutely despised, and I'll say despise a lot in this video, but I despised the score streaks. They were stupid. They had no sense to me. Why should I, if I go get an objective, get points towards my streaks? Like, I don't like that. I want to work for my streaks. I want to get the kill like God intended and then get my kill streak. So some of the kill streaks they got are Juggernauts, Chopper Gunner, AC-130, and then White Phosphorus, which is a new one, which is where it's basically like a strike, an airstrike comes down, causes all this gas or whatever, and then everybody gets messed up, which is awesome, dude. I love kill streaks. I can't say it enough. Next thing that they got is a little bit bigger maps than they used to have. So with that being said, now they're not going to have the old traditional 3-lane kind of mentality. So from a competitive standpoint, again, that's going to be a little harder to get used to. But once you learn the maps and everything, I think you'll probably do all right. But not having 3 lanes is kind of good because you can actually go around and flank somebody from this position and not have to worry about somebody holding a heady in this specific region. You know what I mean? So I think it's good. I think that'll be a big, turnaround for the game. I'd never really liked games that just had, you can only go this way, and then you get funneled, and then you get absolutely shit on. And especially with Call of Duty, a fast-paced game like this, that normally does become the case pretty often. But another thing that you got to worry about is the campers. Since it's a bigger map, people are going to be a little bit more worried, and then trying to hide themselves a little bit better, which I've heard from other YouTubers and people that the camping is a little bit of an issue right now, but I mean, in Call of Duty, there's a lot of people that camp more than not, you know what I mean? And I think when you get into a more competitive standpoint with it, which I don't know if they'll bring ranked into this or not, then you won't have as many people camping, which is nice because there's nothing more annoying than a camper, honestly. Another thing that they've got is crossplay. And crossplay, which they're kind of stealing from Fortnite aspect, is the fact that you can play with people from, if they're playing on PC and you're playing on Xbox, you can play with your friends that way. One of the things I do like, which is another thing that they kind of stole from Fortnite, is the fact that if I'm not playing with any of my buddies that have, PCs or something, we're all playing Xbox, then they're going to, put me against people that have controllers. Because I don't want to get into a map where I'm playing on a controller and then everybody else is playing on PC and I'm absolutely getting smoked, because that's unfair. I mean, PC people have an advantage there, obviously. So luckily they've decided to, implement the thing where if I'm playing on a keyboard or something, that I'll be matched with keyboards, or if I'm playing controllers, I'll be matched with controllers, which is good. Now, with the aspect of if my friend's playing Xbox and I'm playing PC, I don't know exactly how that will work. I guess they'll put us in an Xbox PC lobby, which would be kind of difficult, but I'm sure that you'd kind of get used to it after a while. The biggest thing that I like to hear is that they don't have a season pass. And season passes are absolutely obnoxious to me. Hold up on that. As I was talking about, this is the cyber attack. So you spawn in, same thing, with normal kind of search and destroy. It's a 6v6, and you go in, you look around, but in this aspect you can actually revive your teammates and everything, but it has a similar aspect of search. But going back to the no season pass, that's huge, because I absolutely hate season passes. One, if you're gonna sell a game, sell it for what it is. But that honestly goes with any kind of DLC. I get so annoyed with DLCs, man. Just sell me the whole game. What happened to the days where the game came as it was and as it should be, the whole game? With all of that being said, I'm trying to see through my notes here if I've got anything else to add. The other thing that I might throw in there just for you guys to kind of mess around in your head with is I feel like the game's pace is a little bit slower. A lot of YouTubers and things and people in that area are saying that, time to kill, you kill people a lot faster, which makes you play the game a little bit slower, which could in turn make you, or make some people camp a little bit more because they're trying to play slower. And then also when you get kill streaks involved, if you get close to those higher kill streaks, man, you're probably going to camp out and play a little bit slower. So, I mean, there's always positives and negatives to every, new game coming out. And now that it's in beta right now, would be the time that if you're playing the game to go out there, experience what you think about the game, and then make sure that your voice is heard about, whether you got to get on some kind of forum or something and say, hey, I don't like this about the game. And if we get enough people saying that they don't like a certain thing about the game, then maybe they'll fix it. I think my computer's trying to get me to end it. That is the biggest thing about any kind of beta. Make sure that your voice is heard. Make sure that you say what needs to be said, and then maybe they'll fix it before the actual initial release, because it's a lot easier to get them to fix things in beta before the game goes live. With all of that being said, now I can finally wrap it up. Sorry that my thoughts were everywhere and I just kind of, blurted shit out of my mouth. But I really think that all the information that I gave you guys is enough for you to maybe think if you want to get the game or not. At least make sure you play the beta first, which I believe drops for everybody if you haven't pre-ordered. I believe maybe next week. I don't know. I'll have to look into that and see when it all drops. But make sure that if you're into the game, that you definitely check it out before you buy the game. Make sure that you play a beta. All right, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. I can't even talk anymore. Peace.